The Valkyrie had made a critical miscalculation. When their warship, the Eternal Dominance, suffered catastrophic damage during a skirmish in the Sol system, they made the decision that would eventually doom their empire. They abandoned it in Earth's orbit, assuming the primitive humans below lacked the capability to even understand what floated above their heads, let alone do anything with it. Commander Zhetal had laughed as his fleet departed. "Let the apes stare at it," he told his officers. "By the time they develop the technology to reach it, we'll have returned to glass their pathetic world. That was humanity's mistake to exploit." Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the cargo bay of the International Space Station staring at the impossible. 3 months after the Valkyrie departure, a joint mission between NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, and CNSA had managed to dock with the alien derelict. What they found inside defied everything they knew about physics, engineering, and warfare. "It's beautiful," whispered Yuki Tanaka, the Japanese engineer beside her, "and terrifying." The ship was a nightmare of burnt corridors and shattered systems, but even in its ruined state, it represented technology centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. The reactor core, though damaged, operated on principles that made nuclear fusion look like rubbing sticks together. The weapon systems, barely functional, could theoretically crack a planet's crust. The propulsion drive used a form of space-time manipulation that theoretical physicists had only dreamed about. But the Valkyrie had underestimated something fundamental about humanity. They were the galaxy's most stubborn scavengers. Within 6 months, every nation on Earth had contributed their best minds to Project Retribution. The broken alien systems became humanity's greatest classroom. Engineers reverse-engineered the power distribution networks. Physicists unraveled the secrets of the FTL drive. Weapons specialists studied the energy cannons with the intensity of monks studying sacred texts. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Miguel Rodriguez, a mechanic from São Paulo who'd worked on everything from cars to submarines, looked at the alien systems and saw something everyone else had missed. "You're all trying to fix it their way," he told the assembled scientists. "But it's broken. We can't make it what it was. We need to make it something new, something human." His words sparked a revolution in approach. Instead of attempting to restore the Valkyrie systems, they began hybridizing them. Human ingenuity met alien technology in ways neither species had imagined. The damaged reactor was supplemented with a bank of advanced fusion cores, creating a power system that was crude by Valkyrie standards, but incredibly redundant and resilient. The weapons arrays, too sophisticated to fully repair, were stripped down and rebuilt using principles humans understood, creating systems that were less elegant, but far more adaptable. The ship's AI had been corrupted beyond recovery, so they ripped it out entirely and installed Titan, an Earth-built quantum computer networked with human tactical analysts. What the ship lost in processing speed, it gained in unpredictability and creative problem-solving. 2 years after the Valkyrie's departure, the Retribution hung in Earth's orbit. She bore scars from her reconstruction, cables and human-made modules jutting from her hull like cybernetic implants. She wasn't beautiful by any classical standard. She was a mongrel, a Frankenstein's monster of human desperation and alien arrogance. She was perfect. Captain James Okafor stood on the bridge, an improbable fusion of salvaged Valkyrie architecture and human naval design. Around him, a crew of 200 represented humanity's finest: soldiers, scientists, engineers, and dreamers who'd volunteered for a mission with no guaranteed return. "Sir, we're detecting multiple FTL signatures," reported Lieutenant Park from sensors. 15 ships. Valkyrie signatures. "Looks like Commander Zhetal kept his promise." Okafor smiled grimly. The Valkyrie were returning to finish what they'd started. They expected to find a defenseless world, and a derelict ship still floating uselessly in orbit. "All hands to battle stations," Okafor commanded. "Launch the defense satellites. Get the lunar railguns online. And power up our main weapons." The Retribution came alive. Her hybrid reactors surged to full power, feeding energy into systems that shouldn't work together but somehow did. The rebuilt weapons arrays deployed, a mix of restored Valkyrie energy weapons and human-designed railguns that could fire projectiles at relativistic speeds. When the Valkyrie fleet emerged from FTL, they found something impossible. Their abandoned warship, rebuilt and bristling with weapons, supported by a network of human defense platforms that hadn't existed 2 years ago. Commander Zhetal's confusion lasted exactly 3 seconds before the Retribution opened fire. The battle was brutal and short. The Velkari had superior numbers and technology, but they'd never faced an enemy like humanity before. The Retribution fought with a ferocity that confused the Velkari battle computers. Her movements were unpredictable, inefficient by their calculations, but devastatingly effective. She absorbed damage that should have destroyed her, her redundant systems and jury-rigged repairs keeping her in the fight long past any reasonable expectation. And behind her, Earth's defense network proved that humanity had learned its lesson. They would never again be defenseless. When Commander Jetal's flagship finally exploded under concentrated fire from the Retribution's main cannons, the remaining Velkari ships retreated into FTL, carrying with them a terrifying message. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, and they'd done it by turning their enemy's garbage into a weapon of vengeance. Dr. Chen, now serving as the ship's chief engineer, looked at the damage reports and laughed. Half their systems were offline. The hull had taken critical damage in 3 sections, and they were venting atmosphere from decks 7 through 9. "We need to rebuild her again," she said. Captain Okafor nodded. "Then we'll make her even better. That's what humans do. We take broken things and make them stronger." The Retribution limped back to Earth orbit, battered but victorious. Behind her, the debris field of the Velkari fleet glittered in the sunlight, a warning to anyone who might threaten humanity's home. The Velkari had abandoned their broken starship, thinking it worthless. They'd learned too late that in human hands, even garbage could become an instrument of absolute retribution.